Good evening, everyone. My name is Shrikar. I'm a student of Computer Science Engineering, fourth year from CMR Technical Campus, which is located in Hyderabad. So today I'm going to explain you all people about the IoT security. Basically, what is IoT? The Internet of Things. If we really want to define IoT in simple terms, IoT is which you can operate from your mobile using the help of a medium called internet. See, when some number of devices are connected on the internet, if you are able to control them with the help of mobile phone or any other internet connected device, then it is known as IoT. This is the basic definition. When it comes to the complex definition, the IoT is a collection of devices that are connected to the internet, and they can be operated very smartly. Best example for the IoT is Voltas AC, or recently they have released smart fridge of the Samsung. These are all basically the IoT examples of IoT. So then, what is IoT security then? IoT security is actually is a collection of security individual concerns which are used to protect the not only IoT devices but also network. This IoT security consists of many different parts like hardware security or even software security or network security. So there are many things which are to be considered when we are explaining about IoT. Each and every device has been connected to the internet, and due to which they can be a threat. I mean, they can face the threat, or they have the risk, due to which they can be hacked, or they can be hijacked with the help of a single attack or single problematic or simple malware, if I really have to put it. So these IoT devices are basically a group of networks, or best if I really have to put it, it is a simple network in which there are collection of computers which are connected with the help of wires, or they are all in the same network LAN, in the LAN network. Or this is one of the example for a network. So this is how these IoT devices are connected, and this IoT is an upcoming technology which is used to create, or which is used to automate the home, due to which we can control many different things from the mobile, or using the help of internet. So I just want to explain you the basic system of the IoT. There are exactly 4 stages of the IoT: sensors, RTU or PLC, then I'm sorry, gateways, and finally the cloud storage. So firstly are sensors or actuators. These are the basic devices, or basic hardware structures of the IoT, which actually takes the input of the it may be different things, like it may be camera which takes input visually. It may be a microphone which takes the input as an audio input, or it might be a thermostat which takes the input as the temperature. So different sensors and different actuators are used in the case of IoT. So first and primary stage is the sensors, which help us in recording or simply take the input. And second are internet gateways. When the data collected through the help of sensors and actuators are being sent through the internet, through with the help of DAS, or data acquisition system, which actually collects the raw data from the sensors and converts it to different formats. It normally takes the input from the sensors, and it changes, or it converts the data into the digital format. If it is a camera, it takes the MP4 format, or if it is an audio, it converts into MP3 or in many ways. So this is how this internet gateways and data acquisition systems are used in the IoT. So pre-processing or analytics, this is where machine learning is helpful. So it, or simply have to put it, it is the processing phase. When we are taking the input and when we are converting it, in this part, it is completely segregated, or it is completely changed, or divided into the proper groups, and this huge amount of data is being sent through the internet to the cloud or any other storage devices. This is known as pre-processing phase and in-depth analysis in the cloud or data center. So this is the final stage where the whole deep learning and artificial intelligence or many other things are used. So when the data is being collected, for example, if I take the data of raw data of the thermal temperatures, the hot and the cold are temperatures are being segregated, they are being processed, and they are being different calculations are being done in the data center or in the cloud. This is how it happens. So some of the common IoT applications are um, as I said, smart ACs and smart inverters, and even our Google Home and Alexa. These are some of the smart home IoT applications. So when we are using the IoT as the main factor, what are the main things which we have to keep in mind such that we should stay protected, or what are the issues we are going to face when we are using IoT? So different devices like mobiles and tablets are being used in the case of IoT, which have different access, which can be accessed through different means, like it might be using a link or by social engineering attack, or they can be compromised by any other means also. So keeping a regular check of on our mobiles and on our laptops or even our tablets, such that whoever is accessing our tablet or phone might not pose a threat or not pose a risk to the IoT home automation. So even sometimes we should be in a position to access the data when the device is not available, or when the device is not or if it is being stolen, then the data should be erased. That is the type of system we should establish for the IoT security. So next is login credentials. These nowadays people have been neglecting these login credentials. Some of them are left open, or some of them are kept with the default passwords. These passwords and these email IDs have been released in the dark web, or have been released whenever there is a data breach on a particular company or a particular industry. This is what happens when the data is being released. It creates a new word file which is mostly accessible for the attackers. So such that they use that default credentials, or they use such such methods to brute force your account. And the good practice is never use your email ID or your personal name or your personal information as the password. And sometimes we use date of birth as our PIN number, or UPI pins, or even many other things. So these are the some of the factors which pose a threat for our login security, and for IoT security also, because sometimes we access those IoT devices with the help of smartphones, or even through internet or through an account. So the best practice is never reuse the same password across the devices or even across the accounts, such that you can maintain your unique identity and unique password, and it cannot be brute forced again and again. which is also one of the good practice. So end-to-end encryption, as your people might be aware of end-to-end encryption, when two devices communicate with each other, the type of communication which is being sent through the latest models or latest networks is completely end-to-end encryption, or even latest applications like Signal and even WhatsApp also have end-to-end encryption. So what is this end-to-end encryption is, whenever you are sending a message or whenever you are sending some particular amount of data through the network, that data is being encrypted from the sender side itself. So when it is completely encrypted, that encrypted data or that encrypted file is being sent through the receiver's end, and when the receiver receives it, in the final stage, the whole data is being unencrypted, or sorry, I'm sorry, it is completely decrypted, such that the decryption, when the decryption is complete, the final data, or the data which is sent by the sender side, is being received by the receiver side normally itself, but in between it is going to be an end-to-end encryption. That is what I mean by end-to-end encryption. So make sure the device is software update. So whenever there is a bug found, or whenever there is a vulnerability which is found in the softwares, or in a particular piece of code, or in any places, the companies or the MNCs, the top MNCs, or maybe might be software developers, they release or they roll out a new update which covers that particular bug, or which covers that particular problem or vulnerability. So we have to keep updated as soon as possible, and we have to keep ourselves mostly updated whenever there is an update which is being rolled out in the softwares, or anywhere. We have to update itself as soon as possible. For example, recently there was a critical vulnerability bug which has been found out in the iOS devices. So 2 days back they have released a new update. So this is how software updates work, and try to install them as soon as possible. And keeping the track of the whenever we use some websites, or when we use some mobiles, uh, or whenever we use even computers also, there are some applications which we don't use regularly, or some applications which we do not use itself. Such things or such applications may pose threat to our network, or might be our systems too. So we have to so we can reduce that chances by certain amount of percentage, depending on the number of applications you have removed which are unused, or which you are not using, or try to delete the accounts which you are not using regularly. Like there are some applications which we do not use. Example is Google Duo. People do not use regularly. Some of the people do not use regularly. Or there might be any other social media application which you might not be using. Or there might not be an, even sometimes leaving the account logged in, and leaving it normally also may pose a threat to us. So that's the reason, whatever you are doing, whatever the website you are logging in, or whatever the application you are using in, try to check all the details, try to maintain whatever the apps or whatever the softwares you are using live, and try deleting all other applications, such that it may be helpful for the even in the case of storage too. So this is one of the best practice in IoT. So I'm sorry. These are some of the issues which we are going to be facing when IoTs are implemented. IoTs have a large probability of the hardware attacks, like it might be a rubber ducky which is inserted via USB, or it might be any other thing, or it might be even CD, or even it might be a hard disk. So these type of hardware devices which are being exposed, or since these are maintained completely open. So a single pen drive can destroy the whole network, or it can take over the whole network. So IoT security, and uh, it takes the support of cloud security for the data, and for the data handling, and also proper maintenance. So, since there are less number of IoT engineers nowadays, and less number of it is still growing, but comparatively there are less number of industry experts, and less number of industry people who are working on IoT, and completely doing the research and development on IoT. So there are many number of vulnerabilities which are being found day by day, such that IoT devices are not be are not are not easy to implement too. So whenever the wiring process, or whenever there is a complete home automation being set up, it is also one of the biggest risk in the IoT structure. So, and these are resource constraints is due to lack of resources too. Many people are unable to learn about IoT. Now, due to the corona, and nowadays it has been improved with everything
Hey
online, and
Shrikar,
people.
oh,
Huh?
can you wrap it up because still now has to present and it's 8.
Uh, just two more slides.
Okay then.
Okay. Okay, just how to protect system is try to check whatever the issues we are discussing, and try to maintain whatever the hardware you are maintaining properly, and try to check even the most recent updates, and enabling your security hardwares. And second is network security. Try checking with all other networks, and there might be some devices which are connected to our network, which we don't even know. So such devices, and such things should be eliminated from the network, or cut off from the network, such that we can maintain our network, or the IoT's network safely and securely. So, so that's it for today. Thank you so much. If you have any doubts, you can ask.